Johnny, how the hell you been? Good to hear from you.
I'm doing well. That's quite the conversation I get to follow.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm trying to pivot as professionally as possible here. I understand, John, you were hanging out with Micah Parsons today?
So that was yesterday, and I can kind of tie that in with your previous conversation there, because so he was up at Boys and Girls Club in Grand Prairie. It was part of this Fanatics thing where they were donating these clothes, and so he was playing basketball with some of the kids at the Boys and Girls Club, and it's this trend now where everybody's wearing like these shorter shorts to play basketball. I posted a video, and someone commented on it like, I never would have thought that those John Stockton shorts that we all made fun of would like make this comeback now. And it just makes me think of what you were saying, like with that guy with the boat. Like, I mean, there has to be regulations here, people. Like, how short are these things going to get? Like, I can't believe that trend has ever come back. Like, I understand that fashion is cyclical, but I cannot believe how the short shorts have made this huge comeback, but they're here.
Well, I hope that it at least stays with the younger generation for now, because there are some problems once you get into the a little bit older guys. But I'm with you, Machota. Only if I got like magical thighs. Like if I'm Saquon Barkley or Darnell Valentine, there's another blast from the past type of name with these monster quads. Yeah. I'm like, shoot, let's hoochie daddy this up.
But teardrop.
But, like regular kids or regular guys, that's not usually a good look, is it?
No.
I would say no. Was it a good look out there at the gym other than Micah?
I mean, Micah Parsons can do whatever he wants. I mean, he's obviously in the prime of his career, and he falls in that, like you've said, that category with the Saquon Barkleys and that. But that's the problem is that, you see all these NBA players that have like their shorts like that, or like pro athletes like that. But exactly like what you're saying, they're in the best shape of their life. They're these freak athletes, and that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the trend that like everyday people are walking around with their like ridiculously short shorts. I mean, I'm not saying they need to be over the knee, but I mean, I'm from this, the Fab Five era where it was like, and Michael Jordan where it keeps trying to get, baggier shorts. And now it's completely, I never thought that it would go back this way.
Machota, who's going to wear camp at short shorts? Remember, everybody used to give everybody grief about their shorts at camp. They weren't long enough kind of a thing. Who's breaking out the short shorts at training camp this year then?
Oh, I think it'll go to like, the media. I thought you meant on the players.
No, media.
Oh, I could see. There's been some times where Clarence Hill will try and rock something that's a little too short.
That's what I was thinking of. Yep.
And we'll kind of give it to him like, we joke around that sometimes he tries to be like that that Steve Buscemi gif that I'm sure you guys have seen where he's got the skateboard on and he's like, hello, fellow kids. And we always give him like, you'll see Chilby wearing the upside Dallas hat and everything. We're just like, Clarence, come on, what are we doing here?
He's keeping it alive, isn't he? I'd say actually Eric Chiafalo, our own Eric Chiafalo, is the odds-on favorite to have the shortest shorts at camp.
Ooh, I was going to go Mike Leslie.
Mike Leslie.
At least the tightest.
That's
maybe not the shortest.
Last year, Mike had the tightest.
That's a good one.
Well, I hope Mike is still looking good with the 10 extra pounds and everything. How's everything coming together in that department?
To be honest with you, I'm terrible in that department of gauging, when it's a guy gaining 4 or 5 pounds. Because to me, seeing Mike out there yesterday was like seeing him, at OTAs and minicamp. I mean, he looks pretty similar to the size he was when he was playing. See, the problem that you have when you're Micah Parsons and you're obviously very athletic and you're still really young is that you can try and put on some weight, and then you start getting out there like on a Sunday and you're running around and you're going to lose a ton of that because of just how much you're sweating and how much you're burning that off. And so, for example, like a CeeDee Lamb has to eat a lot of calories to keep his weight on because he's just not naturally like that. Like I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of those pictures of a lot of retired offensive linemen that, a lot of them had to, like Tyron Smith, he has to eat a certain amount to keep that weight on. I can see Tyron Smith when he retires being a little bit leaner than he is now. But like for Micah, I bet you it's kind of difficult for him to add that weight. When I mean add good weight to where he's still really quick and fast because obviously that's his greatest strength. So he wants to add that because obviously he wants a long career, but I think it's going to be difficult for him to, keep that weight on just because of the way he's used and just how athletic he is.
What's the latest on CeeDee Lamb and these contract negotiations? I
don't know of any movement. I wrote recently just ranking how I would I think that they need to get done, how that would best work for the Cowboys. Of course, that never goes to plan, and I had CeeDee at number 2 because I don't think there's any way Jerry Jones lets him out, the door. I just don't. And for a receiver who he is a top 10 receiver in the league, I think that for his contract that you almost have to start pretty much at kind of what 4 years, 25 million to $30 million. I think that's where your top receivers are right now. I think there's about 5 or 6 guys that are 24 million and above. And I think that he has to fall in there. I mean, I think A.J. Brown is kind of where it starts. He's 4 for 25, and then it goes up to Tyreek Hill at 30. And really for them, I just think it's in their best interest to get it done as soon as possible and not wait, not only this year, but then into next year, because I just think that the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chases, I mean, they're going over 30. It's funny because I see that out there that people see that I said 25 to 30 and they think that's crazy. And I'm just like, this isn't running back. This league pays wide receivers. Kenny Galladay got $18 million a year. I mean, they pay wide receivers. Jerry Jones gave this guy 88. He's not letting CeeDee Lamb walk out the door. And I think to get that deal done, he's going to have to give him at least $25 million a year.
John, we've kicked this around a little bit. Other than Mozzie Smith, what's the rookie you imagine having the biggest impact on this season?
Probably would have to go with Schoonmaker just because there's so many, reps that are going to be available at tight end with Schultz being gone. But he's got to be able to stay healthy. That's the thing. It was disappointing not to see more of him during OTAs and minicamp because of the foot issue. It just made you think of Jalen Tolbert not being out there very much last year at this time. And I think his game fits the NFL, and he can probably hit the ground running maybe a little bit quicker than most because of the system he played in at Michigan. But still, I mean, tight end isn't the easiest position to transition to in the NFL. And so I kind of wonder how smooth that'll be. But, yeah, I just think that it's kind of easy to place it. Like, I think that the biggest impact will be Mozzie, Schoonmaker, and then probably Overshown in special teams areas and things like that. But in terms of like us watching practice and preseason games and all that, I mean, Deuce Vaughn is certainly going to be right there because he's going to play a ton and he's just going to do some things that are electric. I just wonder how much they're going to actually be able to get him on the field on Sundays.
John, which offensive coach has the most pressure on him this year?
That is good. Man, I don't know if any of them. I mean, I guess the head coach, just because he's calling the plays, but I just don't look at it as if the offense sputters that they're going to. Are you going to really blame Schottenheimer about this?
Sure.
I know. Are people really going to blame the new, offensive line coach or the move with the running back coach? So I think it all goes back, to the head coach. And to be honest with you, the way I'm thinking about the head coach right now is, a lot of people ask, just like I'm sure you guys talk about plenty of times, just, okay, so where does he have to get for, to know that he's going to be back for a 5th year? And frankly, I just think as long as they keep going with like winning the double-digit number of games and get back in the playoffs and look like they're knocking on the door, I don't see any reason why Mike McCarthy isn't back still. I mean, I just really think that as long as it's not some type of a disaster season, Mike's going to be able to go to Jerry and say, look at what I did in my 5th year in Green Bay. That was the year that they finally got back and won the Super Bowl. And I think that Jerry's going to give him every opportunity to do that. And so unless it's this huge disaster, I just don't think it's going to come down to the offense just doesn't look as good as I thought it would. We got to move in another direction. I'm going to move on from Mike. I don't think it's going to be like that. I don't think he has to, I don't even necessarily think he has to get to the NFC Championship game to keep his job.
Anything else going on before camp, or are we just in cool down mode here before auction art?
This is for my job, this is the cool down and hoping that, guys don't get in trouble with the law. And then just kind of, this is a potential time when, contracts could get done. I mean, it would not be a surprise at all if, there was some news of them getting a deal done with CD or Dak or Trayvon Diggs. I think that those are all, possibilities. And just following how the Cowboys have kind of done it, I do think it would be a little bit more likely that might happen when we're actually out in Oxnard. I just feel like Jerry likes that because then you can do a whole press conference. All the media's out there. All eyes are on the Cowboys and things like that. But, I mean, these deals get done at weird times. So that would probably be the only other thing I could think of.
What is this now for you? Like Camp 12 or 15 or something like that?
No, I think my first one was 20 13, and I only went out there for like a week. And then like 2014, that's when I started going out for the whole time. And I mean, being a person from Michigan, I don't mind this heat at all because I'll gladly take the trade-off for the cold. But I will say during that pandemic year when we didn't go to California and it was the 3 straight months of this, I totally feel for Texans. I mean, that's brutal.
Well, you are a Texan now, Jon. Congratulations on celebrating your first decade of covering this Cowboys team. You're doing a hell of a job, and thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.